If you're an independent artist or label, have you ever looked at a royalty statement and just felt lost? Where did all the money actually go? Are my producers and collaborators getting paid correctly? It's a chaos that so many people in the music industry just accept as normal. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break all that down. We're giving you a guide to go from chaos to complete financial control.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack the problem, what we call the royalty black box. Then, we'll reveal the core solution, a big strategic shift. After that, I'll walk you through a 4-step guide to actually take control. We'll simplify the whole thing with a great analogy and then wrap up with why this is so important for your career.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The problem? The royalty black box. This is where so many artists and managers get stuck, They're facing these confusing statements and, more importantly, some really serious hidden risks they might not even be aware of.
And look, this isn't just some hypothetical worry. As this manager Joe points out, without the right checks and balances, you, the manager, the label owner, could be held personally liable for accounting mistakes. Think about that. If you pay a producer based on a flawed statement from your distributor, that legal responsibility, it falls directly on you. The stakes are just incredibly high.
So this really gets to the heart of the problem. Your distributors, they are fantastic at their main job. Getting your music on the Spotify, Apple Music, collecting all that revenue, they're great at it. But where they often fall short is on the really complex back-end accounting. Things like custom recoupment rates, specific producer splits, all those little details in the contracts, they're frequently mishandled. And that's what creates this black box of unreliable data.
So, how in the world do we fix this? Well, the answer is in a fundamental strategic shift in how we think about the flow of money and data. It's not about finding a better distributor. It's actually about changing the entire process. The core solution is this one powerful idea: decoupling. It's actually a pretty simple concept. You let your distributor do what they do best, collect the money, but you separate or decouple that function from the calculation of the royalties. You handle all the math yourself through a specialized system that you control. That's what puts the power right back in your hand. Okay, so that's the big picture strategy. But how do you actually do it? Well, here is a practical 4-step playbook for taking back control of your royalties for good. These are the 4 pillars of what I'd call a bulletproof royalty system. It's active management, implementing checks and balances, getting recoupment right, and finally, establishing complete data ownership. Let's break down each one.
So step 1 is really a mindset shift. Instead of just passively waiting for your distributor's final payout statement and hoping it's right, you need to actively manage the process. What does that mean? It means you pull the raw sales data, every single stream, every download, directly from your distributor before they've done any of their fuzzy math on it. You're taking the raw ingredients, not the finished meal, which, let's be honest, is often flawed.
Next, and this is a huge one, you build a system of checks and balances. Hey, remember that scary concern about personal liability we just talked about? Well, this step is designed specifically to protect you from that exact risk. It's about creating a process that's verifiable, transparent, and basically error-proof. And here's exactly how it works. First, you hard-code every single term from every contract right into your system, every producer rate, every mixer point, all of it. This automatically creates a verifiable audit trail for every penny. Then, you can even offer transparency portals, which let your collaborators log in and see exactly how their share was calculated. I mean, talk about building trust. All right, step 3. This one tackles one of the biggest, most common failures of distributor accounting: recoupment. The truth is, distributors often have no idea what the specific terms of your producer advances or your project expenses are, and that leads to massive inaccuracies in what gets paid out and when. The correct way to handle this is by integrating your expense tracking directly into your royalty system. Your system absolutely has to maintain running balances from one accounting period to the next. This ensures that a producer's advance is fully recouped down to the penny, according to their specific contract, before a single dollar gets paid out. This alone eliminates so many overpayments.
And that brings us to the final and honestly, the most crucial step of all. You have to ensure that the system you're building is truly yours. This is what gives you permanent control and flexibility, no matter who you decide to partner with down the road.
So what's the key here? It's this. You, the label, or the manager, should own the subscription to your royalty software, whether it's a platform like Curve, Tone, or Repertoire. Why? Because this prevents vendor lock-in.
When you own the software and you control the data, it's yours. You gain the freedom to change distributors or other partners without ever losing your entire financial history. It's your data forever.
Okay, I know we've covered a lot of detail, so let's just simplify this entire concept with one easy-to-remember analogy that I think perfectly captures this new, more powerful way of handling royalties.
Think of your distributor as a cash register. It's excellent at its one job, collecting money. But you would never ask the cash register at a grocery store to read complex employment contracts and calculate the payroll with all the bonuses and deductions, right? Of course not. For that, you need an accountant. And in this model, that's exactly what you do. You take the raw receipts from the cash register and hand them to your accountant, your own royalty system, who then reads all the contracts and calculates every payout to the penny. It lets everyone do what they do best and ensures no one gets sued for bad math.
And this accountant model is a tangible, real-world service. Instead of paying a percentage of your revenue, which, by the way, gets more expensive as you become more successful, you pay for the actual work being performed. It's often an hourly structure like this, which means your costs are predictable and they're directly tied to the admin work required, not to your artistic success.
So let's bring it all home. Why should you go through all this trouble? Because the payoff is absolutely transformative. This is about building a real foundation for sustainable success. It's about getting transparency, scalability, and maybe most importantly, genuine peace of mind.
So what are the actual tangible benefits? Well, you get complete data ownership, period. You get crucial liability protection for managers. You build a system that can actually scale as your roster grows. You get increased trust from your artists and producers through total transparency. And you ensure compliance with things like mechanical royalties. At the end of the day, it just means accurate, timely, and transparent payments for everyone.
So, we'll leave you with this one question to think about. When it comes to your music royalties, the financial lifeblood of your entire business, is your money being managed by a simple cash register? Or is it being handled by a professional, detail-oriented accountant? The answer to that question is really going to define the future